Historical Reconstruction of Aryan X. Episode 48. Who are the Sam-hwang, as China's three sovereigns in Chinese history? Long before 10,000 BC, due to the incident of the 5 tastes from Caucasians eating grapes, humanity dispersed to all corners of the world. The leading group of humanity, one of the yellow race, moved to the lower region of the Aral mountain range in Kazakhstan to the north. Then, around 3897 BC, the leading yellow of the Scythian Aryan, who had been humanity's leaders and had moved north, returned to Central Asia, the cradle of civilization. There, with a desire to enlighten and govern the Scythian Aryans who had spread across the globe, they opened the heavens. This figure is Sakyamuni, the Vairocana Buddha, who is the origin of Buddhism. In Buddhism, Vairocana Buddha is called the Qianwang, the King of Heaven who opens the heavens. This is why even today, when you visit a Korean temple, you can see statues of the Sade Qianwang at the entrance. The term Qianwang was a title used exclusively for all Buddhas who succeeded Vairocana Buddha. This Buddha, the Qianwang, was also called Qianbu, the Heavenly Father. From around 3897 BC until the political revolution in Central Asia in 2333 BC, it was a theocratic society where the Chunwang Nim, the Buddha, oversaw all religion and politics. In this era of theocracy, to ease the burden of the Chunwang Nim's political duties, a political regent, the Biwang, was appointed. These figures are the very Sam-hwang who appear in Chinese history. Chinese history features the Sam-hwang and the Oj. The terms Huang and Jie are combined to refer to a king as Huangjie, an emperor. I will clarify the Oj who appear later in a different episode. The Sam-hwang are called Suinsi, Taihobakuisi, and Yumjie Sinnongsi. Let's briefly examine the history of Taihobakuisi. Taihobakuisi is the creator of the Paikwa, which is part of what we call Eastern divination, and is also featured on the national flag of Korea. I will quote from a book called the Hwandanggogi as a history book. The 5th Buddha Teu Hwanung of Baidalguk country had 12 sons. Taihobakuisi was the youngest son of the 5th Teu Hwanung of Baidal. His name embodies the philosophy of heavenly light, with Taiho meaning greatly bright, and Bukhui meaning bright sun. Bukhuisi devised nets to learn how to catch fish, captured wild animals for offerings, established the institution of marriage, and created the 9 needles and the gumsol as a type of zither to improve life. Bukhuisi sowed seeds in the lands of Center, and Sinnongsi transplanted them. Baidalguk refers to the land of light in the Central Asian region, and the 5th Teu Hwanung means the 5th Chunwang, or Buddha, who inherited the position of the Vairocana Buddha from around 3897 BC. It is said that Taihobakuisi was the youngest son of the 5th Teu Hwanung. First, let's discuss Buddhist paintings, or Tanghua. A feature of almost all bodhisattvas appearing in Tanghua is that they are depicted as Yubal Singh, with hair, married monks with topknots who have families. Only a few are shown as Mubal Singh, without hair, the celibate monks we see today. Originally, in the Buddhism of the Central Asian Scythian Aryans, it was common for almost all monks to marry and raise families, which is why the Buddha himself was married. It was a fundamental part of human life to be born, form a family, and raise descendants. We can see that in the theocratic era, the Biwang, the regent of the Buddha, was the Buddha's direct descendant. The place where the Chunwang Nim and the political regent, the Biwang, resided during the theocratic era appears in Korea's geography records. Around 3897 BC, the place where the heavens were opened with the spirit of Hongikenggan to widely benefit all humanity in pursuit of enlightenment was Seoul, where the Chunwang Nim as Buddha and the Biwang, as the political regent, resided together. The place where the Chunwang Nim stayed was called Gumsung, the Castle of Brocade, which was the Great Papal Office. This Great Papal Office, Gumsung, was also the central government for all the papal offices spread across the world. In other words, during that theocratic era, European politics were also theocratic, directly governed by the popes who were the heads of religion. Therefore, the Great Papal Office in Central Asia was the religious and political center for all of them. Let's look at an example. If we consider Central Asia as the center of Asia today, Europe is clearly West Asia. The Chanzhou Yanhui-do, a Buddhist Tenghua painting, depicts an assembly paying respects to the Budo Buddha at the Great Papal Office, Gumsung, in Central Asia. Budo Buddha is the name for all Buddhas who inherited the status of the Chanwang Nim. Therefore, the geographical scope of Asia where the Scythian Aryans spread was a place operated by a system and order of assemblies called Zhouhui for mutual solidarity and cooperation. While there was a great assembly at the Central Asian Great Papal Office once every 10 years, there were annual small assemblies in the Bosalbu as bodhisattva departments that had spread out in the 4 cardinal directions. The small assembly held in a Bosalbu as bodhisattva departments referred not only to the event itself, but also to the location where the event took place. So, when the people of the European region understood this system and order of the place, where the small assembly of the Bosalbu as bodhisattva departments was held, Small Asia. That is, small in Small Asia is the Hanja character for small, while De from the Central Asian Great Papal Office means great. This is why Europeans still call West Asia on the Anatolian Peninsula Asia Minor, which means Small Asia. Thus, Asia consists of a Great Asia in Central Asia and 4 Small Asias in the North, South, East, and West. That is why the Anatolian Peninsula in Georgia, where the Murut Bosalbu as Milok Bodhisattva department was located, was called the Small Asia Peninsula in comparison to the Great Asia of Central Asia. If you look closely at the Chanzhou Yanhui-do, the Buddhist Tenghua painting of the assembly paying respects to the Buddha in Central Asia, you will see that the faces of the Buddhas in the original painting, which would have been drawn with the utmost care, have been severely damaged or painted over. The forces that manipulated history destroyed these paintings, which were created to pass down 10,000 years of culture, spirit, and life to their descendants. The murals of countless Chunbodong as thousand Buddha caves around the world have now been almost completely destroyed. And the true reality of the original Buddhism of Central Asia that they tried to convey to us has become unrecognizable. The manipulation of history is, at its most fundamental, the manipulation of Buddhism. In a way, our search for the true reality of history is also a process of finding the true reality of the Buddhism that existed in Central Asia. The Sam-hwang as the political regent are Suensi, Taiho Bakhuisi lived from 3528 BC to 3413 BC. Yamje Sinnong lived from 3218 BC to 3078 BC. These timelines represent the periods during which the Sam-hwang and their families served as regents in the capacity of Biwang, the representatives of the Chanwang Nim. Thus, the Sam-hwang who appear in Chinese history, Suensi, Taiho Bakhuisi, and Yamje Sinnongsi, were beings who assisted the protagonist of the theocratic society, the Buddha, by acting as political regents. However, although these Sam-hwang were officially appointed Biwang by the Buddha, they did not possess and exercise independent power like the Huangji, the Son of Heaven, in the era of separated religion and politics. They were representatives of the Chanwang Nim. In the next episode, I will reveal the Paikwa of Taiho Bakhuisi, who created Eastern divination. As the national flag of Korea is based on this Paikwa, it will be a great opportunity to study the meaning behind this nation's flag. The subtitles can be translated into the language of each country, so please be sure to use them. If there are any issues, please contact me via the comments or through Google Mail. My Google Mail address is aryanrealhistory@gmail.com. The YouTube video address is Historical Reconstruction of Aryan X, or History Restoration of Aryan X. Everyone, your subscriptions and likes are a representation of your conscience and passion for the truth, so please do not forget them.